Today on First Financial Biz Beat, a sign of life downtown. The major company bringing thousands of workers back to the office and hope to nearby businesses. Plus, the transformation of an old Payless shoe store into downtown's newest hotel.
Cincinnati is just an outstanding city to own a business, to start a business, and this is just another example of that.
And what the city is doing to help restaurants stay afloat. First Financial Biz Beat starts right now. Good afternoon and welcome to First Financial Biz Beat, presented by the Business Courier. I'm Kyla Woods. Well, there's a certain fascination with who's next when it comes to the future. You see it most often in sports with drafts and new seasons. Players and fans are always looking ahead. But as Maya Angelou once said, if you don't know where you've come from, you don't know where you're going. Appreciation of the past is at the heart of this year's annual look at Cincinnati's up-and-coming leaders. On the front page centerpiece this week, 40 under 40 hits 25. Success is best measured by the distance we've traveled. This year's class was asked what they remember from 25 years ago and how they envision their lives a quarter century in the future. The answers and advice are spread across 19 pages in this week's paper edition. Courier publisher Jamie Smith sat down with one of them, Kroger's Aaron Rolfes, before tonight's awards ceremony.
Kyla, thank you. Aaron, first off, I want to congratulate you for being one member of the 40 under 40 class this year. It's a great honor to have you added into that group. So let me ask you, how does it feel to be named to the class of 40 under 40?
That's a great question. I will say I was super surprised when I got the email, just very grateful. The class this year, I'm sure everyone says this, but the class this year is phenomenal, and it's a really big honor to be recognized among such really great peers.
Yeah, it's incredible as the years have gone on. We've always had great interest in the class. We've always had upwards of 300 nominations. This year's group, though, we got upwards of 640 nominations. Wow. And of course, some people get multiple nominations, but it was over 300 unique nominations this year, which puts you guys in a pretty significant place. So, hopefully that means a lot to you. Can you talk a little bit about what it's like right now to be a young leader in Cincinnati? I mean, obviously that's our goal of 40 under 40 is to shine a spotlight on those that are doing that. So what's it like?
Well, like everything else in 2020, it's a little weird this year. I've been looking for a lot of ways to support the community, super blessed working for Kroger and all of the great work that we've been doing and able to actually give back to the community. I know that a lot of our friends and neighbors, especially in the hospitality industry, have been suffering. So being able to work with a company that's so focused on feeding the community, both with the real food that we sell every day, as well as feeding the spirit of folks around our region, it's been really great and rewarding to do. Like I said, 2020 is a weird year, but it's been a nice way to still spend some time with folks and help out those who are in need.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's always interesting to me when I talk to the 40 under 40 class, because if you were just talking to them about everything that they do for the city, for the region, for the nonprofits, for those less fortunate, you'd almost think that was all their full-time job, right? How hard is it for somebody like you, to hold a job, an important job such as yours at Kroger, and try to give back to the community? How important is it, and how do you do it?
Yeah, I think it was my dad who said, you make time for the things that are important for you. There are 24 hours in the day, and the things that you prioritize are the things that mean the most to you. So for me, being able to spend time with my fellow community members and, giving back to the Cincinnati region has always been really important. I'm a transplant here, so I feel like after almost 10 years, I'm probably about at, normal person Cincinnatian status, but still approaching it. So it's really defined my life even before I came to Cincinnati, that giving back is important. Spending time in the community is super important. I like to tell the story that I wasn't always, super excited about living in Cincinnati. Don't tell anyone. I know it's here.
Our secret.
Yeah. So about 4 or 5 years ago, my husband and I decided, we're probably going to stay here forever, and rather than just slide into living in Cincinnati. We really wanted to make a conscious effort to stay here, to thrive here. And I think that we've both really made that commitment and done that since then.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, when I previewed the videos that will be shown tonight on TV, I was surprised to hear that. I didn't realize you weren't a homegrown girl here. I mean, I just assumed kind of with your role, and I knew you before you were at Kroger in your past role. I just assumed you were a Cincinnati, at least from this region. So I think you belong. I think you've proven your worth, and we so appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on with us today. And I just want to remind everybody that you can view tonight's 40 Under 40 unveiling on Channel 64 at 6:30 p.m. You'll see Erin and her 39 classmates shine. You'll find out a little bit about each one of them. And if you can't watch it tonight on air, you can see on the screen right now, we're showing a link that you can use, and you'll be able to access it after the program airs on Saturday night. So again, congratulations to you and your classmates, and have a good day.
Thanks so much, Jamie, and congratulations to Erin. As Jamie mentioned, all 40 of this year's honorees will be recognized tonight, and I'm very honored to be a part of that class. Again, that hour-long special starts at 6:30 over on Star 64. Well, we're 7 months into this pandemic, at the point that many small businesses just don't know how much longer they can hang on. Many are about to get a lifeline, though. $1.3 billion worth of checks are on the way to Ohio business owners. It's from the Bureau of Workers' Compensation. The governor says good investments by the BWC is why the state is able to do that. It's not clear how much each business will receive. In Cincinnati, restaurants are getting a bit of a boost from the city. Mayor John Cranley this week announced a $4 million relief fund. Restaurant owners will be able to apply for up to $10,000 to spend as they'd like. And for restaurant owners like Matt Cuff of Just Queuing, the influx of cash comes at a critical time.
It fills the gap in the wintertime. Wintertime for restaurant business is traditionally slow. Barbecue is seasonal. And so it gives us the ability to just kind of tide over.
If we can save these restaurants and bars, or at least not save them, but help them save themselves, then we will be doing a huge amount of good. And the amount of money we'll have to spend if we lose all these bars and restaurants to catch back up will cost us years.
The money will come from the city's CARES Act funding, and each restaurant and bar will be required to offer some sort of discount to customers. The grant program is not available for chain restaurants. More help could come to businesses that operate late into the night by way of lawmakers. With COVID cases at the highest rate ever in this pandemic, Governor Mike DeWine says it's not the time to get rid of the early last call order. But a bill to do just that already has 2/3 support in the state Senate. If 60 members of the House get on board, it could become veto-proof. Lawmakers say restaurants and bars are not to blame for the surge in cases.
When it first was brought up, we didn't know or having a lot of knowledge about the virus. Well, now we know even the virus is spreading. And we know that the most effective way to prevent the spread is covering.
10 p.m. is extremely early. A lot of us, do a lot of business from about 9 p.m. on. So we feel like we just start having people come in and things just start getting going, and all of a sudden we have to stop the alcohol sales.
The governor's original order expires the week of Thanksgiving, but he has the power to extend it. And here's a good sign for downtown. Fifth Third Bank is bringing back most of its employees who've spent months working from home. Half will work 1 week, the other half the next week, and they'll continue to rotate. As we've reported in the past, the lack of tens of thousands of office workers downtown is hurting businesses that depend on them. The return of at least some of them is a welcome sight for those businesses.
There's definitely a lot more flow coming through. I'm talking to a lot of P&G, Fifth Third banks and stuff like that. So we get a lot of regulars that we used to have are finally starting to come back.
There's still a long way to go. Right now, only about 15% of downtown's office workers are back at their desks. COVID testing could soon be as simple as breathing. The Cleveland Clinic is partnering with a Texas corporation on a portable breath test. The results would be available instantly, and the device could be used on a large scale. Clinical trials are set to get underway soon, with the goal of having this ready to go by the end of the year. Well, the first treatment for the virus gets the okay from the FDA. Until now, remdesivir has only been given to hospitalized patients under an emergency use authorization. A study shows that the drug from California-based Gilead Sciences shortens recovery time by about a third for some patients. President Trump was treated with the drug while he was hospitalized with the virus. Procter & Gamble is out with a quarterly report card reflecting business during the pandemic. And business is good for the Cincinnati-based consumer products giant. Sales rose 9% to more than $19 billion. Earnings topped $4.2 billion, and that's the company's strongest quarter since 2005. The unit that saw the most growth was the one that houses its Swiffer and Dawn dish soap brand. One of the area's fastest growing healthcare companies is hiring. Ensemble Health Partners is looking to fill 800 jobs nationally, 250 of them right here in Cincinnati. Here's video of the revenue cycle firm's new HQ in Blue Ash. Positions available include customer service, patient access, pre-access, and accounts receivable. Coming up next on Biz Beat, we go inside OTR's new disco and show you what's coming to the Old Habits Cafe in Oakley. There's a new man in charge of baseball operations for the Reds, but it's a familiar face. Just 12 days after Dick Williams stepped aside, he's been replaced by the man who replaced him when he stepped up from general manager. Nick Krall retains those duties and also adds the baseball operations duties. His first task after the team's first playoff appearance in 7 years is convincing likely National League Cy Young winner Trevor Bauer to stay.
Some people look at him and say, oh, from the outside looking in, you've got a guy that, oh, he was great for our club. He really was. Do you want to have a Trevor Bauer back? Of course you do. I mean, he's a top front end rotation that, in my opinion, should win the Cy Young this year. So, I think that you'd love to try to get him back if there's any way possible.
Krall also says manager David Bell and the rest of the coaching staff will return next season. What used to be a bank branch on the skywalk level at Fifth Third is now a wide open space for ideas. The multi-million-dollar renovation transformed the 22,000 square foot space into the Forum. It can be used for a variety of things, from meetings to interviews to collaborations.
When we think throughout history of great civilizations, from the African civilizations to the Roman civilization and beyond, all of them had some space for idea exchange, some space where you could learn, you could share, you could teach, you could solve problems together, and that's what the Forum really is for us.
The space includes a huge Fifth Third logo made of tumblers from safe deposit boxes that were in the space when it was a bank branch. It also overlooks Fountain Square, which will soon include Fifth Third's new atrium lobby. 90 people are named in a class action lawsuit stemming from the civil unrest in Cincinnati over the summer. The suit is being filed by downtown real estate company Court Street Executive Suites. They're seeking compensation against the people who took part in damaging and looting buildings. The protests followed the death of George Floyd at the hands of police in Minnesota. The real estate company wants the court to let the lawsuit represent all businesses and property owners whose businesses were damaged during that 3-day period. Playhouse in the Park and the Cincinnati Shakespeare Company are both canceling holiday productions due to the pandemic. For the Playhouse, that means no showings of A Christmas Carol, which of course has become a holiday tradition for some. Instead of in-person performances, there will be some virtual shows and special events that will allow for social distancing. Both say they are postponing the reopening of their main stage seasons of plays until fall of 2021. The pandemic is also shuttering a popular Northside restaurant, Django Western Tacos. The last day will be a week from today. The owners say business has been down about 66% since the start of the pandemic. They'll now focus on their 2 other locations, one in Covington and one inside Kroger on the Rhine Food Hall. The Northside location has been open for almost 10 years. Sherry Stevenos' career has spanned decades, and despite changes to her job title, there's been one constant: helping people. She's now the head of Online Design, the Springdale-based engineering service provider, and she talked about the company and her career with First Financial's Ilaria Rollins.
Thanks, Kyla. Sherry, tell us about Online Design.
Yes. So Online Design is a staffing firm. We've been around for over 30 years, working with Fortune 100 companies all the way down to small and medium-sized businesses. Our specialty areas are in the fields of engineering, supply chain, project management, and other scientific or technical areas, and really helping companies if they have a need for a temporary person or perhaps a temporary to hire, or in some cases a direct hire position where we do full-time recruiting for a number of our clients. What really sets us apart from other companies is the experience of our leadership team. So we have deep knowledge of industry as professional engineers, project managers, equipment specialists, and designers. And so we're able to really understand our clients' needs at a much deeper level. And in many cases, we've done that work or similar work ourselves.
Tell us how corporate changes in corporate America have impacted both employment and career opportunities.
Certainly companies have continued to evolve and change to stay competitive, and that's a really good thing. In our industry, one of the biggest changes we've seen over the last 10 years is the number of companies downsizing their workforce. And that's really created two dynamics. First, companies have a knowledge gap with a lot of their experienced workers leaving. And then secondly, it's created a large group of very, very experienced and talented people who are available for new career opportunities. And that has been a focus for online design. So we're able to match these very talented people with critical needs at companies, whether they have a specific project that needs to be completed, or in some cases, they may need to hire a former retiree back to help with filling in some knowledge or putting some systems in place before they can move forward.
That's great. You have had a very robust career. Tell us what's guided you along your path.
Thank you. I wish I had a brilliant answer. I would say it's probably hard work, doing the right thing, and then for me, really being able to help other individuals. I started my career early on designing knee implants or prosthetic wrists for patients who had severe arthritis or were in a lot of pain. So really, truly being able to improve the quality of their life. From there, I had a series of positions where I was able to actually help people get new skills and help them grow with different career opportunities. And honestly, it continues today with the work that we do in online design, really helping many people in their second or third career continue to find that next opportunity.
Nice. It sounds rewarding as well.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for stopping by, Sherry. It was great to talk with you.
My pleasure.
Thanks. Back to you, Kyla.
Thank you so much, Ilaria. And still to come on First Financial BizBeat, opening a new business during a pandemic.
I'm a little concerned, but not too much. I think we'll be okay.
While some businesses are closing, one local restaurateur is opening his second place in 3 months, where the old Mount Adams Fish House is being resurrected after the break. Downtown's newest hotel is now open. The Kinley is in the old Jewelers Exchange building at Race and 7th. For those of you old enough to remember, it's right across from the old Shillitoes. The 9-story building has huge ceilings and 18-foot windows that offer some pretty beautiful and awesome views of the city. The hotel is designed to feel like you're going to a friend's house.
The hotel itself is just going to be awesome because we've got a lot of condominiums and apartments, that go 2-3 blocks either way, and we just want to be everybody's living room. The name Kinley comes from kinship, so we want everybody to feel like family when you walk in the door. I got on a suit jacket, but I've got on tennis shoes, so very business casual, a little bit more on the casual, but we plan on, having everybody do business inside our lobby.
The hotel has 94 rooms, each of them having complimentary internet, TV, and daily housekeeping. And it partnered with Cincinnati Art Underground to curate local art for display around the hotel. Rooms for non-members start at $123 per night. The debut of a highly anticipated restaurant inside the Kinley is just a couple days away. Cora will open Monday. The restaurant, which will specialize in pasta made from ancient grains, is on Vogue's 2020 watch list. Well, old tastes of Mount Adams are now spreading around the city. The Oakley Fish House is coming soon in the old Habit space off Madison Road. It's like the spiritual successor to the Mount Adams Fish House, with old favorites like the Fish House Chowder, but this menu will include more meat. Opening during a pandemic is risky, but this is the second restaurant the owner will be opening in just a few months.
We opened Teak, 2 months ago, and it's been good. We are doing well. It's not crazy busy, but we are doing good. So we thought we'll open Oakley Fish House first part of November and see how it goes. I'm a little concerned, but not too much. I think we'll be okay.
They are most looking forward to the post-COVID-19 world, where they're planning to host live music on Fridays and Saturdays. The pandemic threw a wrench into the original opening, but a new discotheque is now open in OTR. E19 is across the street from Rheingeist. The original and ultimate purpose is a dance club that caters to the LGBTQ community. The idea came from Richard Cook and his husband, Martin Wagner. They've revived tea dance parties here in Cincinnati a few years ago.
Our last one before COVID was about 600 strong at the Hall of Mirrors at the Hilton Netherland Plaza Hotel. So it was really sort of the success of the tea dances and a lot of people egging me on to open up a place of my own. So 2 years ago, I decided to bite the bullet and actually put together the concept for E19.
And because of social distancing guidelines, there's no dancing right now, but there's still all kinds of music from house to EDM every day except Tuesday. A new exhibit at the Museum Center lets you be part of the mural. It's called the You Are Here Gallery. It shares stories about what makes Cincinnati unique. The centerpiece is the mural, which lets you create something of your own and put yourself into the artwork. Well, thanks so much for joining us for First Financial BizBeat. One final reminder about tonight's 40 Under 40 Awards show. The hour-long special starts at 6:30 over on Star 64. Of course, for business news around the clock, visit thebusinesscourier.com. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and be sure to sign up for our daily emails. I'm Kyla Woods. Have a wonderful and safe weekend.